Suella Braverman has written for the Telegraph. Get this. Before I read this headline out to you, just bear in mind, just try to remember what Suella Braverman is.
It's the Guardian reading, tofu eating, wokarati.
Do you think it's irrelevant what the police numbers were like in 2017?
As a barrister, are you completely comfortable with breaking the law?
For the second time, Suella Braverman has lost her job as Home Secretary.
Nobody's ever done that before.
It is all. We think it is unprecedented.
Suella Braverman is a lawyer. She's a barrister, and while she was Home Secretary, she broke the law by speeding, and then she tried to sort of contort the processes for, meeting or appraising that speeding ticket situation. Like, you have to do a speeding awareness course, right?
Labour is calling for an investigation into whether the Home Secretary broke the ministerial code by asking for special treatment dealing with a speeding offence.
And you may or may not recall that she tried to get Whitehall staff, her civil servants, to talk to the DVLA to get them to do a one-to-one. Like, she didn't want the embarrassment of doing a speeding awareness course. She didn't want to be caught and exposed for doing that in the newspapers, right?
So she asked her civil servants if they could help her dodge the fine by arranging this private one-to-one driving awareness course. Now,
so she's breaking the law and then exploiting her position as Home Secretary to try to get the rules to bend for her own benefit. She's one of the leading advocates of the international law-breaking Rwanda policy, a supporter of Brexit, which by de facto, by extension, you would assume a supporter of the illegal proroguing of Parliament, although that's a bit of a stretch, I suppose. And lastly, but by no means least, a supreme advocate, a big advocate of Netanyahu's Israel administration, or Israel's Netanyahu administration, who are illegally still occupying parts of Gaza, and now, as of this afternoon, are talking about expanding, basically taking over the whole Gaza Strip, just making it Israel. And the people behind that are wanted by the International Criminal Court. So, I mean, she's not a great mascot for lawyers, is she? She's not a paragon of virtue to whom all lawyers in London aspire to be like, is she? And we know that because there was like a team of lawyers who wrote like a letter to the Bar Council or something. And then there was this meeting. I've got a link up here if you're listening to this later. The Attorney General, as she was then, Suella Braverman, was on Saturday accused of sacrificing the UK's reputation, sidelining legal advisors and bypassing the ministerial code during an extraordinary confrontation with some of the country's top lawyers. During the annual meeting of the Bar Council, the Professional Association for Barristers, Braverman was asked how Britain could retain a shred of credibility in imploring other countries to follow international law after revealing its own willingness to breach agreements. So yeah, I mean, look, I think I've set the stage there, haven't I? Is she a paragon of virtue? Like, if you were a lawyer, if you were qualifying as a lawyer now, would you look up to Suella Braverman? Would you? What do you think Braverman's done for the reputation of British law? But none of that has stopped her writing this piece in the Telegraph this afternoon. Check this out. Suella Braverman. Snowflake solicitors are destroying a once proud profession. Britain cannot afford for entitlement to infect the corridors of legal ambition. Should we take a quick look? Should we have a laugh? I mean, I've been badgering her husband. I don't know if you're familiar with her hubby, Rael Braverman. That he was criticising Keir Starmer the other day. He said it's not even Keir Starmer's fault. It's not word for word what he said, but it was along the lines of it's not even Keir Starmer's fault. It's a system that allowed someone as incompetent as Keir Starmer to rise to the top. And I read that. I was like, I mean, your wife was sacked 3 times and, broke the law. She's Home Secretary and Attorney General, and she broke the law speeding and then tried to bend the rules and pursued the Rwanda plan against international law and attracted the ire of all of her cohorts in the bar council. I mean, it's not even Keir Starmer's fault for being. It's a system that allowed someone so unsuitable and incompetent to rise to the top. I was like, your wife was only given Home Secretary again to keep her quiet. Not because she was the best candidate for the job. It was to appease the ERG, to keep her from causing trouble. Rail. Same thing as, what was the thing the other day that came out about there was a secret plan to house asylum seekers, and isn't it terrible? What does it say about Starmer's? I was like, your wife was the Home Secretary at the time that this was all agreed. What are you talking about, Rail? Anyway, let's have a quick read. It's been a while since I've read a comic book. Suella Braverman on the 5th of August, guys. She says, Britain's legal profession wants a byword for rigour, intellect and integrity. Integrity like saying billions of refugees are on their way. On their way to the UK. Billions are on their way. Are they, Suella? Yes. Yeah, no, they totally are. Are you sure? Yeah. Yeah. Pretty positive. 90% positive. Right. I mean, most refugees just go into the country next to their home country because they kind of want to go home again. And even then, it's like 150 million. So where are you getting billions from? Fuck you. Fuck you, you champagne socialist wokerati. Oh, I miss integrity like that. I really do. So Britain's legal profession wants a byword for rigour, intellect and integrity now finds itself the latest battleground in the war against excellence. Does it now? Well, okay. A cohort of aspiring solicitors has taken to petitioning for the Solicitors Qualifying Examination, the SQE, to be made easier. Their complaint, the exams are too hard, disproportionately challenging, and, of course, biased towards certain backgrounds and learning styles. And then she says, in other words, we didn't do well, and it must be somebody else's fault. She says, there could hardly be a more telling parable of our times, the snowflake sensibility. Once confined to undergraduate common rooms and the wider fringes of social media, has now infected even the corridors of legal ambition. The future custodians of our justice system are not asking for a level playing field. They are asking for the pitch to be tilted until everyone scores. All right, yeah. Quite poetic, Sue. Let's continue. The argument, if we can call it that, is that maintaining high standards will inevitably restrict diversity in the profession. And here we are again at the familiar intersection where merit collides with identity politics, and where the latter is expected to triumph no matter the cost. This isn't about widening opportunity, it is about lowering the bar. She says, having sat more than a dozen legal exams across 3 jurisdictions, from the halls of Cambridge to the benches of Sorbonne, and ultimately the famously exacting New York bar, I speak from a place of experience. She says, these were not fun. I lost a stone in weight during one set of particularly punishing exams. They were not inclusive. They were not designed to reflect my personal learning style. They were difficult. That was the point. And when I passed them, I felt a precious sense of achievement and readiness for the real world of legal practice, where I did everything I could to make everything else not inclusive too, and as hard as possible for everyone. She says, therein lies a truth we are fast forgetting. Standards are not meant to flatter us. They are meant to test us. The whole premise of a professional exam is that it provides an independent measure of competence. Right. I mean, look, just to break away from this for a second, is anybody else appreciating the irony, the utter fucking ridiculousness of this bitch criticizing others for tailoring the exam to other people's needs? She literally asked the DVLA to tailor their speeding awareness course for her to make it easier, more convenient for her. You sound ridiculous, Sue.
Just another video with Adrian.